Only Buffalo is going to win it, folks.
The Bills make me run. Kick your heels up and down.
We've seen why the Buffalo Bills are en route to the playoffs.
Come on.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, and we're live on the Overdue Bills podcast. We are live. We are live. We are live. I'm excited to be back with you guys for this. What I think Max said we week 5. It's crazy. It is our 5th episode of this particular show. But we're grateful, for you guys who is tuning in, tonight to be on with us. We got the gang. It's really all of us, really, besides, Mills. Who knows where he's at right now. But I got my man, Mike D, a.k.a. Frank K. Hey. Oh. I got my man, Matty Ice. You know what I'm saying? Matt Nice, Matty Mitch, whatever you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? And also, Rat, is this your first time?
Nah.
On the Overdue Bills?
No.
The
first episode.
First episode, Rat. He came back. You know what I'm saying? Rat.
And third.
Yeah, it's his Crip walk. You know what I'm saying? No, he a blood. Or whatever you is, Rat.
Oh, whoa.
I'm not none of those things.
We don't have any gang affiliations on our show. The only gang affiliation is Bills Mafia. That's it.
That's it.
Gang.
Hopefully you guys, hopefully you seen our interview with our boy Jordan from the Los Angeles Rams, UK. He's literally from the UK. Great interview about, the Rams, and got some great, details on the game, and he gave some great insight on, his football team. But we're here to give this great pregame show. Buffalo Bills against the Rams. It is at the Buffalo Stadium. We don't have a name, unfortunately. But I just want to jump in. Let me ask you this. Quick question of the week. At what point does the Bills not having fans hurt us? Right? I mean, I know it's only 2 games into the season, but, we talk about this Bills Mafia, right? Like, we got the best fans in the world. But so eventually, at some point, I'm assuming it's going to hurt us, I guess. So my question is to y'all, maybe not, I don't know. My question is to y'all, like, at what point do you think us not having fans is going to hurt us? Like, maybe it will be this week. But Mike, at what point? What point do you think?
I mean, maybe if we get to like a week 16, week 15, week 17 game where it's time to clinch the playoff and the stadium's going crazy and the players just drive off that energy. But I mean, right now they still going out there and playing ball. Like, fans are out there. So I don't think they are being affected. So until I see them start being affected, I don't think it will.
Rat, what you think?
I think it's all good. I think, both teams. I think being home, both teams is pretty much going to adapt to not having no fans. And I think as long as they're not worried about it, saying that we need the Bills Mafia or that like we need y'all in order to win, I think we got a good team. And we're going to win.
Okay. Man.
Hell. Had a little craziness going on over there. I was looking like Rad in the pregame show. But yeah, I honestly think, I guess we'll find out tomorrow, but this may be the first game that, we may need the fans. And for a couple situations, just, some of those third and shorts, or, with a quarterback like Goff, where I'm sure McVay has 100 call outs, and 100 different combinations of audibles. If you can't hear something like that, it could affect the offense a little bit. We could see it tomorrow, but that's just my take on that.
I can agree with that, man. I'm not mad at that.
Well, we'll see. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I just, I'm just very interested in that. Like, obviously, at some point, the fans will be an issue, right? Or I think we're going to see it, especially in football. We didn't necessarily see it in basketball with the bubble or whatever, but I think in football, it's going to rear its ugly head at some point. But that remains to be seen.
Before you go on, Josh Allen was on First Take, and they asked him about it. They said, what it is that you kind of just not, if you're not paying attention to the game, you don't know what's happening because you don't hear fans cheering if a big play happening. So I guess the Jets, when Crowder scored like that 50-yard touchdown, he said he didn't even know. He didn't even realize they scored, so he said that was the biggest difference. So, I mean, that's what the player said. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Well, we'll see. It's easy to say that when you played the Jets in Miami, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so
Miami looked good Thursday night.
They played the other worst team in the league, the Jaguars.
Jags beat the Titans. They weren't no pushover
the Jag
team.
beats.
I'm sorry. The Jags beat the Titans.
The
No, they
the
didn't.
Colts, the Colts, and then they took the Titans to the end of the game. So they're not a pushover team.
The Colts have Phillip Rivers. He's one of the worst quarterbacks in football. But that's neither here nor there. So matter of fact, I'm glad, Matt, you said that because what I want to do is before we kind of get into this game, I want to do what I like to call soap opera time. Or what one of my friends called it, soup opera time. You know what I'm saying? but what we want to hear is, I need to hear some storylines, man, going into week 3. Obviously, we didn't know about whether the season was going to start. You know what I mean? COVID was throwing everything up in the air, but we have football. We're excited. And I want to know I know we're kind of always looking at the Bills. This is a Bills show, but if I can get some storylines, right? Like not the ones off First Take, not the ones off, Skip and Shannon's show. I want some real good storylines, right? So I'm gonna go to Mike first. It seems like Mike got some good storylines on his mind. Like I'm kind of looking through him right now. So Mike, let me know what's your storylines coming in to this week 3 of the football season?
For me, it is the value of the running back is really up in the air because you got Christian McCaffrey out, you got Saquon Barkley out, you got Wilson at San Fran about to play. We want to see how do these teams do with these backup running backs? How do these teams do with Devontae Freeman just coming off the street? Because to me it's a chance that Carolina might actually be a little better. We don't got to get into that. That's a separate discussion. But we really about to see what happens with McCaffrey out, how that Panthers offense look. So I think running backs should be on notice this week.
Yeah.
Matt?
Well, I mean, I thought we were going with the game storylines, but like our game, but I can get into that.
Nah, he said around the league.
Yeah, I said
just around the league.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go into the game, our game. Okay. I'm gonna go with I think it's kind of like a local thing, but Bobby Woods is coming back to Buffalo for the first time, and he's gonna be the number 1 receiver. How good I know he spoke. They had him on asking him about returning to Buffalo, and he mentioned it's always going to be another home to him, and he's excited to come back. And just wondering how good of a day is he going to have on Trey, or if he's going to be one of the featured number 1s in McVay's offense this week. Because I know Jordan talked about it in our pregame that they use him in so many different ways that it's going to be tough to kind of see him if he's going to be a one-on-one all day.
Right.
For me, it's defense. Defense, it seemed like everybody is scoring. It's like nobody can stop anybody. There's no elite defenses. Even the Bills, we gave up 28 points to Miami, and we didn't have our tight end. Our linebackers, but I still thought we'd be able to limit them somewhat better. But just around the league, everybody defense don't look real good, and I want to know how long that's gonna last. And for fantasy, I love it, what I'm saying, because touchdowns every week, everybody's scoring touchdowns. But defenses are not looking good, and so I just want to know how long that trend, or if that's the new trend now. Just you got to expect that giving up 20, 21 points a game on average for most defenses, is that the new trend? So defense is what my eyes on this week to see if they ever going to make that transition and catch up with the offense.
All right, I can dig that. Mike said running backs, which is interesting. Matt, talked about the game, Bobby Woods, and I appreciate all that because I did ask for like a non-first take, storyline, and y'all definitely gave me that. Let me say that. But obviously, the main ones are injuries. Obviously, like the injury book hasn't. It hit us a little bit, and we're gonna talk about that in a second. But just over the league, like the injury bug is crazy. I mean, people are dropping like flies in. I don't know what the league is going to look like. We might see, an expansion team at some point. Who knows? But and also quarterbacks is a huge storyline for me, right? Josh Allen, MVP candidate. Russell Wilson is arguably the best quarterback of all time. Apparently, he's playing like it. We got Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson playing next week. We have, Tom Brady. He's terrible. And Drew Brees is awful. You know what I'm saying? It's like the quarterbacks is a huge storyline coming into week 3. But, that remains to be seen. We're going to have some great games. Really some great games coming up week 3. Like I'm excited about tomorrow. Like it is some amazing games across the board, including ours, right? The Bills versus the Rams. And let's get into this game time, man. Let's get into the game. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. And we're going to talk about out and in. And let me just say this real quickly. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about who's out and who's in. We're going to deal with this injury report. You know what I'm saying? For the Buffalo Bills, we know Zach Moss is out. Zach Moss is out. Dawson Knox is out. Thank God. I coined him, I think, on our interview show as one of the worst tight ends probably in the last 15 years of football. He's not worse than Chris Herndon, but he is bad. He's really, really bad. But so I'm glad he's out. But also,
is he worse than Charles? Is he worse than Clay?
Well, Clay
was terrible.
No, but Clay was actually good at one point in his life.
We have Lee Smith on our team. What are you talking about?
I don't know where Sam is going with this.
Well, I'm just saying Dawson Knox is bad. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Delshon Phillips, he's out. They're confirmed out. Matt Milano and Tremaine Edmonds, we know that it's a game time decision. It's up in the air. They were out last week, so hopefully, and then we'll see tomorrow.
And then Taron Johnson is also game time
He's
too.
Game time decision, yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see. I think we're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna talk about our cornerbacks later. But anyways, let me hear from you, Mike. Talk about the injury report. Is Zach Moss being out a big deal?
I'm so glad you came to me.
I was.
I was hoping we talked about this. Yeah. I knew we were, but I was hoping I could go first because I'll probably have a different take than Matt. I probably could guarantee. But for me, I think it's a good thing. To me, I think it's an opportunity. Let me say that. I think it's an opportunity because Zach Moss was not playing good anyways.
Wow.
Nor is Singletary not really doing much. Our running backs isn't doing much, but we passing the ball so much. But I think our running backs, they are a death by 1,000 cuts. I think they need a lot of carries to be effective. They aren't going to break it for 70 yards. Like when we have Mike Gillislee, he could get 2 or 3 carries and have a 70-yard touchdown with that. Zach Moss is not that. Singletary is not that. So for us not to run the ball a lot and for them to not be able to get in a rhythm, I think they struggle. Zach Moss is struggling getting in a rhythm. So I think taking him out so that Singletary get all most of the carries, but bringing in TJ Yeldon for the passing game because when he was in Jacksonville, he was a threat out of the backfield. I think having Singletary and Yeldon as a combo might be a little better, especially if you're going to pass the ball 40 times. I think Yeldon coming out the backfield is better than Zach Moss. Running, no, because Yeldon fumbles all the time. But if Singletary could get those 18 carries and then Yeldon get the other plays for just coming out the backfield, I think that might be a better combination right now than Zach Moss and Singletary because right now they aren't doing a lot.
Okay. So Matt, with that being said, Mike, covered the big one, Zach Moss, offense looking pretty good. So let me hear about the defense. Like, talk to me like this. If Matt Milano and Edmonds is in the game, give me a brief synopsis of how that looks for us. And then if they're out the game, tell me how we're going to cope with that. All right, like give me two things at once. Pause.
Well, if they're in the game, it'll make it a lot easier for our secondary and guys weren't looking too great last week, in like Levi Wallace and Teron Johnson and other guys that were trying to step in and help out. They're gonna get a lot less of a workload, I think, because those guys can cover a couple slot receivers, and then the big guy we talked about on the show, Tyler Higbee. We let Mike Gesicki go for like $130. If those guys aren't in the game, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a similar thing, or the safeties are going to have to worry about him a little bit more and let guys like Cooper Kupp and Bobby Trees run free. So, and then the rookie too that they got over there. So if they're in the game, it'll give them a little bit more breathing room to play a little bit more free and cover those outside guys. Then if they're out, it could be another long game in the middle of the field.
All right, that's interesting. So hopefully they play. Okay, Rad, what I need you to do is, all right, you're McDermott. You looked at the injury report. You know what I mean? You see that. So tell me how are you going to go about this game? What is McDermott is going to do? Is it like, does he go into a pregame meeting and say next man up, or is he going into the pregame meeting with his first statement, hopefully we have these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? How was his tone going into it?
Knowing McDermott from what he is next man up. It's definitely next man up. You gotta have that attitude. We 2-0, we home, and you gotta have that attitude of next man up. I think if our offense is really this good, you feel different. If this was last year, I think we have a bigger issue. But this year, if our offense really made that next step forward, I think we can score at anybody. And if it's a shootout, it's a shootout. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully our defense show up, and hopefully linebackers are healthy and good and control that middle of the field, because that middle of the field was wide open last week for Mike Gesicki. And just contain these wide receivers, and Tyler Higbee is going to be a big deal. So I think it's next man up, control that middle of the field. And if we got to get in the shootout, you got to have faith in Josh Allen to get it done.
Yeah, and another thing I just want to say, as far as me and Mike said, I was going to 100% disagree with him on his running back take, but I agree that I think a steady workload for Singletary. I don't even care if TJ Yeldon plays a snap tomorrow. I think that Singletary last year, the last couple of games, he showed he can carry the ball 20 plus times and he'll be productive. Now I think with Zach Moss out, that'll help. Because it'll be like, hey, I don't have to go out and break a 20-yard run every time I touch the ball, or else Zach Moss is going to come in and take my snaps. That's another way that I look at it. So I think it's kind of a good thing, blessing in disguise.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah. It is. It is.
Opportunity.
Yeah, if you got Devin Singletary in your fantasy, start him up. You know what I'm saying? To say the least.
What? Yeah, because we didn't talk about who else is over there on there.
Singletary gonna get 25 touches. Are y'all kidding me?
Based on the last year, a game where he got I think 10 or 12 or more carries, he give you 15 to 20 fantasy points.
Come on,
so
right.
If you're going based on last year, it actually is quite a nice start. Based on last year, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Clearly, Mike disagrees, but I don't think Mike likes running backs. I don't think he likes running backs, but that's neither here nor there.
The Bills is a passing team, man. It's high.
Yeah.
We can say that.
Okay,
but
you said okay.
Come throw 50 times.
Okay, we'll see we will see, because we're gonna talk about the matchups. We're gonna see if we really are a passing team this week. All right.
Well, then going back into the injury report too, we did the Rams injury report. You got rookie Cam Akers, he's out with his ribs.
Yeah.
Malcolm Brown broke his finger last week, so we might not see him tomorrow. We'll see him maybe in a more limited role. And then the starting center, he's out this week too.
Yeah.
So that's another.
I was going I didn't mention Cam Akers or Malcolm Brown because I don't think it matters. It's
we were just going through the injury report. I think that the center being out is going to tie into something I'll talk about in matchups. But,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep. We're going to get there. So let me do this. All right. We know who's playing, who's not playing. But I want to ask y'all this because Mike says something about, the Bills is a passing team, right? So I want to know if y'all could tell me this, since the Bills have had this, 2 amazing weeks. I need from each of you, one thing you saw last week that you want to carry over to this week, as Mike coined it, help or hurt. One thing that helped us, and then on vice versa, on the flip side, I need one thing that you saw last week that hurt us that you don't want to carry over to this week. All right, so I need one thing that you saw that you want to carry over, and one thing that you saw just nah, you can keep that where it's at. And Rad, I want you to go first. Let me know.
Honestly, I think Josh Allen just making decisions. His decision making was good last week. Him believing in Stephon Diggs. His continued belief in Stephon Diggs, giving him.
Hold on.
What?
Can I say something, bro? I just seen this update. Who added Malcolm Brown in our fantasy league? After I just said that, who was Batman? Is that Nut?
No, that's Dirty Tay.
Oh,
no, that's Nut.
That is Nut. Nut is watching right now. Nut Cheney is watching. And Nut, you gotta chill. Like, you gotta relax. You gotta relax.
So he wasn't on somebody's team?
He just added Malcolm Brown, and he just heard Matt
say. He not on nobody's team.
Anyways, I'm sorry. I just seen that. I don't want to throw us off, but anyways, Rad, what you were saying?
No, I want Josh. Honestly, it's for me. Everything's gonna be Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen, the way he played, his confidence in his receivers, and his arm, just letting the ball go. You know what I mean? Not holding on the ball too long, just letting the ball go. But the bad side is, I know that whole big run that everybody saw him have and stuff, and then fumbled at the end of the play, all that stuff. I don't need that, Josh. I mean, I don't need that. You can throw the ball away. You can get down. I know it was a big play. It was on SportsCenter and all that. But, Josh, we don't need you fumbling the ball. We don't need you getting compromised positions like that anymore. So stop that and throw the ball. You got all these weapons. Get the ball out your hand. And if you got a clear lane to run. And I understand that his mentality of trying to fight for that first down, trying to get that first down. I don't want to take that out of him, honestly. But just be smarter about it. And so it goes back to decision making with your body. Just be smarter about that. But besides that, Josh Allen, just get the ball out of his hand, trusting his receivers, trusting his read and his process. And so I want him to bring that to this game.
Matt, what you think? What's one thing that you saw last week that you want to bring, and one thing you saw that you was like, nah, keep that where it's at?
So the receivers, I want to keep them where they are. I know, it seemed like earlier it was a Stephon Diggs show. And then later on, John Brown, it was the John Brown time and Stephon Diggs. It's like, guys, there's no ego in that room. So I feel like, guys are still in the game doing little things they're supposed to do. And then when we needed them, they turned up. Isaiah McKenzie had that long catch and run. It's just I want to keep the receivers. Do what you're doing. You're doing great. That's why we have the number one passing attack in the league right now. And then what I don't want to see much of this week, or keep it the same, is I'm hoping that the linebackers are in, because I don't want to see AJ Klein covering people tomorrow all like that. I want to see him in his other role, stopping the run.
Whew. Mike, I hope Mike say what I need him to say, because ain't nobody said it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's on defense, if it's on the leave, I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But so what I wanted to keep is our killer instinct. Because how many times would the Bills have went up? When Gabriel Davis made that touchdown, the Bills went up 24-20, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. They went up 24-20, went out, stopped them, got the ball back. How many times have we seen a Bills team go run, and punt and rely on the defense? Yeah. What did we do? McDermott said, let's go pass. We threw a touchdown, a bomb to John Brown to score a touchdown to go up by 11. We didn't play not to lose. We played to win. Yeah. And to me, if we keep that throughout the year, if we're going to go out there and we're going to put our foot on people's neck, it's going to be – I can't wait. I'm excited. Now, what I want to leave, I need Levi Wallace to pull Avonte Davis. That's what I need. Avonte Davis. I need him to go in there and say, Coach, I'm good. I'm just gonna go ahead and go home, because he is awful. Mm-hmm. He is awful. We have to leave him in week 2. In week 3, is Josh Norman good? where is he at? Is he good?
Yeah, I think they were saying he's getting there. I think he's getting there.
Man, he can't be any worse.
No, he can't.
How can he be worse?
And then I would like to see.
He was terrible last year for wrestling.
Yep.
So.
Some of the.
Let's hope.
Maybe Teron Johnson is feeling a little better. You could even throw in the young boy Cam Lewis, man. He's not been getting much run. At least give him a shot out there. I don't know. He can't be worse. He can't be worse.
I got a Cam Lewis
If
take.
Levi Wallace the one we keep sending out there, that means everybody else probably has bad. So that's the problem.
We still see, and really we're about to talk about it, in depth in great detail. I'm glad Mike brought it up, because I want to kind of shift to this next segment. I want to coin this mouse in the house, or Mike used to say, you know what I'm saying? He's the blender. You know what I mean? Give it to the blender. And we've seen on many occasions, Ante Mills been down in the post, and he's been put in the blender. This guy named Will Reagan put Mills in the blender. In other words, we're talking about advantages and disadvantages. That was a disadvantage to us. But anyway, but what I want to know is, I need to know our advantages and our disadvantages. We're going to talk matchups, man. Because, and matter of fact, I'm going to go right back to Mike. I'm going to go right back to Mike. Because Mike brought up Levi Wallace, and we know, Matt talked about it, Robert Woods is coming back to town. Robert Woods is a top 20 receiver in football right now. Also, Cooper Kupp, you know what I'm saying? Like, the man, at least from history tells us, he finds his way in the end zone, right? They also have Tyler Higbee and Van Jefferson. Like, they're coming at us in waves. We have Tre'Davious White, you know what I mean? Michael Hyde, Poyer. But Levi Wallace, probably worst corner in football. We got Cam Lewis. Cam Lewis was undrafted, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Undrafted rookie. He would be our slot corner, right? You know what I'm saying? He would be checking, like they put Robert Woods in the slot, they put Cooper Kupp in the slot. But
yeah.
or the nickel corner rather. But nonetheless,
Yeah.
Mike, let me know how you feel about that matchup. Like our secondary against their receiving core.
I mean, to be honest, I don't love it, so that's why I picked Cooper Kupp in my daily fantasy lineup.
Absolutely,
because I'm expecting. If at the time I was expecting Trey to follow Bobby Woods, I don't think he is.
No,
I think the Rams do too much on offense pre-snap. That I think the Bills is going to do left side, right side. You got your position, you got my position, and this is what it is all game. Because once you start switching and everybody start bumping and get confused, that's when the Rams get you. So I don't feel great about the Cooper Kupp 150 unless he just keep him on the left side with Levi. Then I feel great. So I don't feel great, especially if our linebackers are injured. I don't feel great at all. The silver lining is I think Jared Goff is not a good quarterback. So hopefully he just have one of those days where he give you a couple. But with McVay, the offensive genius, the weapons that they have, if our linebackers aren't healthy, even if they are, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a shootout.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a shootout. If the over is I think 47 or something right now, I would take it. 48, I would take it.
Good with that,
Matt. How you feel about that? You brought up something, and I think you want to talk about this. You brought up the Rams center being out, right? Mm-hmm. And what I need you to do, Matt, is I need you to talk about their defensive line, offensive line, and our offensive line, defensive line, right? We understand they have an all-world player, best defensive player in the league. Some say the best player in the league, Aaron Donald, right? He's going to wreak havoc, like no matter what. You can't keep him down. No. I don't know if what's his name, Brockers.
Michael Brockers.
Is Brockers playing? Because he was hurt last week. He got hurt last week.
He didn't show up on the injury report, so I'm assuming he's playing.
Okay. I know he was hurt last week. But nonetheless, Matt, I need you to give me a synopsis. Like, who's going to win in the trenches, right? Who has that advantage?
Well, I mean, as of right now, I would say any defensive line that Aaron Donald's on, they have the advantage because you have. I mean, we've seen clips of him the past couple of weeks literally pick up and throw 300-pound linemen. You know what I mean, and breaking through double, triple teams, getting. He's been doing this all his career. It's no surprise. So I think if you had to give an advantage to a unit, it would, even if we had 2-3 guys that none of our guys are Aaron Donald. But saying that, I think this is a week that Ed Oliver can really thrive, especially if the linebackers are out. He can disrupt things in so many ways, especially with a new center, with that heavy offense, the centers. I played a little center in my day, so you gotta help the quarterback with calls. You gotta help him see the field kind of before he goes through his progressions. So I think that this could be a game where Ed Oliver really shows up, and then we obviously got Addison, we got the rookie and Jerry Hughes. Those guys. I think the defensive line has a pretty good upper hand this week. But given an advantage, I have to give it to the Rams just because of Aaron Donald.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, I agree with that.
You got anything to say about that, Mike? I seen you shaking your head.
No.
Oh, okay. You good? Okay.
Well said.
All right. Rat, how do you feel about it? What's your advantage, disadvantage? I know we talked about receiving core against our secondary. We talked about the line. Matter of fact,
let's talk. No, let's talk coaches, because we got a defensive coach against an offensive coach.
True. I want you to cover two things, Rat. I want you to cover McVay versus McDermott, but I also want you to cover Goff versus Allen. I need you to cover those two things for me.
Okay. McVay versus McDermott. I think y'all said it. The linebackers play, that's definitely a disadvantage for us because we gonna need those guys, and just because how the Rams play, how they always send somebody across the field, how they always got somebody in the slot. So I think having Edmonds and Milano, two of the better cover linebackers will be key for us. So that will help McDermott in scheming and having a way better chance with McVay offensive plan. But if we don't got that, it's gonna be tough if we got them or not. But if we don't got them, it's gonna be a field day. Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp, and Robert Woods. But I think Trey White, I think Trey White gonna do his thing. I think Poyer and Hyde gonna hold their own, and it's not gonna be a straight craziness. But I think the key for us is to stop the run. Right? Michael Brown was hurt. He's gonna come into the game limited. Henderson is their starting guy. He looked okay. He looked pretty good against last week. But if we can stop the run and stop that play action and stop that hurry up offense where they hurry up and get online that quick snap and limit them having Jared Goff have to think and not have to just drop back and just have wide open people because we're scared of the run. I think that's the key for us. I think we stop the run. That's the key for McDermott. Try to figure out how to stop the run, limit that play action, and I think we're gonna have a better day. And comparing the two quarterbacks, it's once again, if the Rams offense is rolling, Goff is a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. The O-line, but if the O-line blocker for him, the running game going, he got weapons. He got, three good weapons. Like you said, Robert was a top 20 guy. He's a top 20 receiver. He's really good. Cooper Kupp is a real good slot guy. And Tyler Higbee, I said in our fantasy league, he's going to be a top 5 tight end this year. And he's proven me right so far. So I think, Jared Goff got the weapons to be great. He got the offensive scheme to be great. It's just, he need everything to go in that plan. I don't know if he's not a quarterback like Josh Allen that can play outside the scheme, play outside, improvise. He's not an improviser, right? He's a guy that everything got to go right, running game got to go right, plays got to be called right, scheme people open and throw them open. I don't think he's an improviser. I think Josh Allen's a little better at that. But, sometimes he get a little ahead of himself and do too much. But from this year, he's been getting better with that. So I think, Josh Allen overall is I'm going to say a tick better because he can improvise better. He can obviously run when plays break down, everything not going great. He can do more and be better in that facet. But it's gonna be a good game, man. I love this matchup. I think this is a perfect timing for us to play the Rams because they be both 2-0. It's a test for both of us, and hopefully we just have I want us to win, obviously. But I want us to see that we belong in this tier of team. That's the biggest deal for me.
Let me say this, since Rad, you said something. I really got two kind of questions I need to ask. One, in response to Rad talked about the difference between Jared Goff and Josh Allen. Jared Goff not being necessarily mobile. According to PFF, Pro Football Focus, I believe we are top 5 in defensive teams blitzing, right? So like we're bringing a lot of pressure this year. So what I want to know from you guys, understanding that we kind of talked about their receiving core, Higbee, Woods and all that, and I was looking at one show and they talked about the Rams, and I think Jordan kind of dealt with it, who we interviewed. They do a lot of crossing routes. Sometimes they put their tight ends wide and they bunch their receivers in real tight, kind of confuse the defense. So what I want to know is, with McVay being this mastermind, should we send pressure like we've been doing? Because granted, we played the Jets and the Dolphins, right? And not saying the Dolphins are not a decent team, but nonetheless, we are supposed to blitz them, right? So should we go after Goff, knowing that McVay got tricks up his sleeves, end rounds, he got all that weird stuff? Matt?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, you have to send just keep our same blitzes going. It doesn't matter. I don't think who's playing receiver. You have to go get to the quarterback, because I think if you don't blitz as much and you let those guys run free, one of them is going to eventually get open. So you want to get to Jared as fast as possible, and then they that's on the safeties and the linebackers to stay home for any kind of trickery or end around, stuff like that. So they all have jobs to do out there, but I think you keep the pressure going, you keep the blitzes going, because obviously we want Jared Goff to make quick decisions, because those could turn into turnovers or, just errant throws.
Once Goff get into a rhythm, it's hard to stop him. So I think you get after him, get him out of spot, make him throw on a run, hit him a couple of times. I think that's how you get to him. But if you can just sit back, play zone, and let them just pick you apart, it's going to be just almost pitch and catch. So you definitely got to come after him.
So, Rad, I know you wanted to say something. So, Rad, our line is not good enough to get after the quarterback by themselves, or is it that's just our scheme? Like, I don't. Can you heard me?
I don't know. I think you said, is our line good enough to get after the quarterback itself?
Yeah, I mean, we done paid money for it. I'm just saying, Trent Murphy's not doing terrible. Addison is playing good. I mean, we just picked Ed Oliver in the first round. I'm just saying, like, certain teams don't have to blitz. They could just send a 4. You know what I'm saying? The Chargers, the 49ers, when they had everybody. You know what I'm saying? Really, I would say you get my point.
Yeah. I mean, no, we're not that yet.
Okay.
Right? We need Ed Oliver to mature more. We're not that yet. But to answer the blitzing question, yeah. If you based on last year, when you blitzed Jared Goff, he was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. He was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league against blitz. I think it was like him and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And you go right at him, and what it does is, I'm blending. What it does is it just mess up timing. Like Jared Goff is a timing guy. And it mess up the timing, and you blitz them, and it throws everything off of Jared Goff. And I think that's the best way to go about it. Even if that's our scheme, I think that's better. I think you blitz more. I think like what Matt said about the center being out, we blitz those A gaps, try to get pressure as quick as possible. And yeah, man, it just gets to Jared Goff. I think he's, once again, based off last year, when he was under pressure, he did terrible. The O-line did terrible. That's why the Rams had a down, quote unquote, down year last year, because the O-line wasn't doing good. And teams was blitzing Jared Goff, and he had nothing to do for it. He just sat there and just got sacked. So I think that's a great game plan to just go right at him and help and just get, because they do a lot of double routes. The receivers do a lot of long routes or that play action and stuff, make them get down the field quicker, or get down the field, do things to have them get down the field. I think if you interrupt that and go at Jared Goff, it definitely helps us in our advantage.
Okay, let me. We're gonna move on, and we're about to play a quick game, and we're gonna get out of here. Mike, I know you talked about our secondary versus their receivers, but talk about that Stephon Diggs, Jalen Ramsey matchup. I know we haven't kind of touched about it, but that's kind of the marquee matchup. I mean, as far as the pundits, on a national scale, that's what they want to see. That's what the people are paying to see. Stephon Diggs has ascended really to a top 10 receiver, in football this year. He's going against arguably the best corner in football. What's up? I mean, like, Stephon Diggs don't have, what's up, Mike? Talk about that matchup.
It's funny. This matchup show how insecure Bills fans still are, right? When the Diggs and the Ramsey, they're like, well, all right, well, I guess John Brown just gonna go off. They're like, why can't Diggs still catch the ball?
Yeah.
Like if we're gonna go and trade a first round pick for Diggs and probably pay him eventually, and for him to be that guy, he can't just be like, well, Ramsey got me this week, so no, I'm gonna go stand in the corner. It's like, no, we need you to go be that number one guy, regardless who is on the other side. So I still I want Diggs to get 10 targets. Keep it going. Keep it going. There's no reason why you should go away. If like for the Chiefs is a passing team, regardless of who they're playing. No, it's not like, oh, the Chiefs gonna run this week or they're gonna pass this week. The Chiefs are just gonna throw the ball regardless. If the Bills are going to be a passing team, you pass the ball regardless, and you pass it to your best player. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm looking for 10 targets from Diggs and at least 80 yards.
Ooh,
I like it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like. I just want, I just don't want, because Jalen Ramsey has some words for Josh Allen some years back. I don't want Josh Allen to just do it just for the sake of trying to, get back at Jalen Ramsey or something like that. I want it to be really in the game flow. Don't if it's one-on-one with Diggs, you got to trust your receiver to get those. The point is to get Diggs in one-on-one situations and throw him the ball. If that's what we're doing, even if it's Jalen Ramsey, let's do it, man. That's not Kyra. That's not just. I think Jalen Ramsey is really good, but he's not Dion. I don't think he's even Darrelle Revis, right? He's not literally just. Just shut down a whole side. I'm not giving him that yet. He's good. Even this year, he gave up I think when he checking people, gave up 10 catches so far this year in 2 weeks. That's not great, but it ain't bad either. It ain't like, oh my God, he's shutting down everybody. So I think we definitely need to, if Diggs got one-on-one and you like what you see on Josh Allen, let it rip. Let it rip.
Yep.
All right.
And
okay.
And I think I'm with that too. I mean, I think through these 2 weeks, we see that Josh Allen has the confidence in Diggs to go up against anybody. I mean, there were some throws where Josh Allen kind of put it in spots where Diggs was going to go get it, and he went and got it. It's like, and I think Diggs is such a prideful player and like hey, this dude can't stop me type of player that he's going to go to Josh. Let's go at him. I'm going to get open. Just trust me. Put it where you got to put it, and we're going to have a good game. I'm with Mike. I can see him getting a lot of targets and having a productive game still.
I hope so. I hope we don't poke the bear. You know what I'm saying? Let's be smart about it. But let's see. Brian Dable, let's see what kind of game plan he comes up with. So with that being said, I'm glad you said that, Matt, because we're about to end the show in a second. We're about to get our predictions, our score predictions, things of that nature. But I want to play a little game. And the game is, would you bet that? Would you put your money on that? You know what I'm saying? I want to know. Would you put your money where your mouth is, since we talking all this yin yang? All right. So my first question to y'all is, since we kind of ended on it, would you bet? And this, I don't know if this is really the player prop. I think it's about 50 yards less. But let's see. Would you bet? Would you put your money on Josh Allen to throw over 300 yards? As it's for everybody. You can start, Mike, and work your way. Since we're a passing team.
Would I bet that?
Would you bet that?
I mean, is it like a large sum? Put everything on.
We put one full unit. For those of you, if you are better, then you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bet bet 100. That's a lot of yards.
Let me say this. For those who are in the comments, for those who are watching, I need you to tell me if you would bet that. Put it in the comments. All right, Mike, would you bet it?
A Bills quarterback did not throw for over 300 yards in 7 seasons. And Josh Allen have 2 seasons of not doing it on his resume. He has 2 games of 3-something and another game of 4. So he was hot, but there was lesser competition. So let's get that straight. So no, I would not bet over 300 because 300 is a lot in a game. 300 is a lot in a game. Just to get that, just to bank that. I know I'm not. I wouldn't. That's not. But that's me.
Matt,
I would.
Oh.
I would bet it. I would bet it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Just because of the fact that you had Dak and Wentz played them the first 2 weeks. They didn't go over 300, but those are pretty tight games. I think our game could potentially be a shootout. So I think that it's with the receivers we have, the receivers they have, they're gonna throw for theirs. I think Josh is still gonna be, because just like our defense and just like the Dolphins without Byron Jones, or is it Sidney Jones, Byron Jones?
Byron.
When he went out, the Rams don't have a number 2 corner right now. So Mike alluded to, hey, John Brown's going to have a good game. I mean, no matter what, whoever that number 2 and whoever that slot corner is covering, they're not going to have a good day against our receiving core. We still have one of the top receiving cores in the league as far as stats wise. I think he'll go over 300 tomorrow. And then also Zach Moss being out too. Are we gonna give Dev the ball 30 times like he's Todd Gurley?
Yeah.
I would say this though, Matt. Would you say that Dallas offense is better than ours
right now? I would say yeah, because their running game is better. Overall, yes, not their passing offense.
So people probably thought that game was going to be a shootout too, and it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
while you losing your shirt, I'm still safe for secure with my 401k.
Scare money don't make no money, Mike.
Hey, you're right.
Actually, I'm gonna go with Matt. I'm gonna go with Matt simply because of game script. Though.
Wow.
Well, Rad got collateral now, so he's good.
No, I'm gonna say game script puts them over 300. And I think, and honestly, if I'm picking us to win, I hope we win. I think we're gonna need that. We're gonna need all 300 of those yards to win this game. So and right, because our running game haven't been A1, and I think Josh Allen gonna need to throw the ball effectively for us to win this game. And we're gonna have to score points. We gotta score points through the air. So
absolutely,
game script, and if we want to win this game, he's gonna need to throw 300.
My question is, when has a team never needed all the yards to win? Was there ever an instance where they didn't need all the yards to win? I don't know.
I mean, you could get like a Browns Bills Monday night.
What are you talking about? If it's a blowout or something, the last quarter don't matter.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're talking about the 300-yard game. Yeah, we're talking about the 300-yard game here. We're gonna need every bit of that to win. I got what you were saying, man. I got what you were saying.
I'm just saying. I don't know when people say that. Like, when is it in time? Like, oh my God, he didn't.
Because it's gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be it's gonna come down to that means it's gonna come down to the wire, guys.
Man.
If it's a blowout, we don't need every yard to win, because in the fourth quarter we're gonna be sitting down. You don't need no yards in the fourth quarter.
Man,
we need it. Sense, bro.
Man, we need all those points, man. I'm telling you, dude. Yes. But all right. So let me go to inverse. Let me go to inverse of that. Would you bet? Josh Allen's on a tear, hasn't thrown an interception. Would you bet that Josh Allen is going to throw an interception this game? Anybody, somebody.
No.
These are some of the worst bets.
These are some.
Are you going to bet it?
I wouldn't bet that he's going to throw one. I wouldn't bet. You know what I mean? He's been taking care of the ball. I mean, his escapability helps with not being forced to make throws in the pocket. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go with, I wouldn't bet that he's going to throw a pick this week.
Right.
I mean, for one, in real life, would I ever bet this? No, because interceptions is so unpredictable. But I will say yes, because he has put the ball in, I don't want to say danger, but the ball has been in the air, but Diggs been coming down with it. Now it's Ramsey. Diggs may not come down with every single 50-50 ball. So I would say, if from that case, I would say yes.
Matt, right?
I mean, just by the.
If Rad said we're gonna throw the ball all the time, then if you throw the ball 50 times, there's a chance you're gonna throw one interception.
I'm just saying, like, Josh Allen hasn't thrown an interception. Is he gonna throw an interception? Yes or no?
I'm saying just based on the value, I would throw that bet out there, sure. Against Miami, he had a couple balls that could have been picked off for the better.
Van Noy had one right in his hands.
Yeah. So, I think honestly, he should have thrown an interception by now. It's just been good luck that he haven't. So, if I'm a betting man, sure, because the amount of times he's thrown the ball this season, the amount of times I think he'll throw the ball this game, yeah, why not?
Okay, and let me say this. I know we're playing the game. Would you bet it? But I am seriously asking those questions. I don't want to, like, you can go from it as a better, you know what I mean, as somebody that gambles, but I'm actually asking you that question. Do you think Josh Allen's going to throw an interception this game? Matt said no. Mike said yes. Rad said yes. I think for sure he's going to throw an interception this game, right? We're playing a way better defense. Like, he's going to throw an interception. But
I wouldn't say a way better defense.
It's so unpredictable. They got to catch the ball still.
Yeah.
Like,
what I mean by better is I believe that they're going to get pressure on Josh Allen, and I think he's going to make a bad decision. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
All right. So,
he's made bad decisions. They just haven't came down with him.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
All right. Would you bet that the Rams running back core, whether Malcolm Brown plays or not, is going to have over 92 yards rushing on the ground and 47 yards passing in the air? You can answer either or both.
No.
No, what?
I think that's the key to victory.
No to
that's
both?
the key to victory, man. No
90,
no to the rushing.
92 yards
No to
rushing,
rushing.
47 yards passing. So you're saying no to 92, yes to 47.
Yeah, I give you that.
Okay.
I give you that. I think that's the key to the game, right? To limit those guys, to limit Henderson, to stop the run. So that play action, you can limit that play action. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know what the Rams do. They play action. They cross the receivers to create mismatches. They do play action to get that deep ball down the field to Woods and Cup. And we got to limit that. And we got to limit the run so the play action is less effective. So I'm saying no. I'm going to say no. I bet that.
According to Mike, you don't have to be running good in order for the play action to work. But Mike, what was you going to say?
You don't have to. I'm going to bring that up later anyways.
Oh, okay.
But I would say I would bet it.
Wow.
Bet
what?
I
Like,
guess.
what are you
Both. I would bet both.
Both to go over or under?
Go over both.
Go over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would bet to go over both.
Okay.
I guess it depends. It does depend on our linebackers, whether Edmonds and Milano, whether what's going on with them. If they aren't playing, yes, I'm betting it.
Okay.
Gaskin was getting some yards against us.
He's terrible.
He was getting some yards against us. So would it make McVay offense? You get 92 yards and 47 pass. That's easy for sure. He might get a screen that go for 50. So I would say I would bet that.
Matt,
I'm going to go no to the rushing yards just because of something that, I talked about with the D-line. I think they're going to disrupt that run. I think, and like Raz said, that's a key to the game. We gotta get losses on those run plays and then put Jared Goff in second and long, third and long situations where he has to, make decisions and get the ball out. So I'm going to go with, I wouldn't bet the yards. I wouldn't bet the passing either because I think that he's going to be throwing to those other receivers and Tyler Higbee. Even if, I think he's going to throw to Tyler Higbee if our linebackers are playing or not. So I think just for the fact that they have a lot more weapons, I don't think they're going to get the running backs involved too much.
All right. Listen, I need to chat. I need y'all. I need to see y'all answers in the chat. But let me ask y'all this. Would you bet that the Rams will be leading going into halftime? Would you bet that? Somebody, anybody.
I'll bet that because
okay.
I think the Rams gonna start. I think the Rams gonna start fast. They usually do. The Rams usually start fast, and I could see them scoring on their first possession, or they, you know what I'm saying? So I could see them going in. I could see a 14-10 lead. I could see a 17-14 lead going in the half for the Rams. I could see that. I can see them scoring first. I can see them getting a couple touchdowns in the first half. So, yeah, they usually start fast, and, I can see that.
Okay. Matt?
Well, I'm going to go with no. I wouldn't bet it.
Wow.
Just because I think that, it could turn out like if they have a lead and Josh Allen has the ball, we're going to tie it up or take the lead before half. I think any point where Josh Allen has the ball where, it's going to be coming down with time running down, I think that he's going to come through for us. So I think even if they do start out early, we'll be able to catch up with the guys we have on offense, and they won't be leading going to the half.
Yeah, I say no too because it's a West Coast team coming east.
Yeah.
1 o'clock, man. They usually still
Like-
it's asleep now. It's 9 o'clock or whatever
Yeah,
it is at West Coast. So I think they may get to a slower start. Yeah, it may not be to halftime when they start ramping it up.
Yep.
You was about to say something, Matt?
Well, I think Jordan talked about that in our interview too. He said they've traveled a whole ton already. They went,
Back in.
they played back and forth, and because usually they'd be able to stay on the East Coast. They were in Philly last week, but they had to go all the way home because of COVID, and they weren't able to stay this week and practice.
If I listen to based on what I heard, I could be wrong, but I believe that McVay and the Rams do great on the East Coast. I think the last 4 or 5 times they came to the East Coast, they like 4-0. So that may be an issue, but he actually does great when he plays in the East Coast. Basically, I think I'm gonna look that up after the show, but I think that's the case.
No, they could, but I'm not saying the early factor, but like the traveling. They usually, like the Bills, when we go on a West Coast trip, we stay in the West Coast for another week. You know what I mean, and practice there while we're out there.
Yeah.
We don't come all the way back home, practice, go through everything you got to go through, then leave again Friday night or Saturday morning to go to the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? So they're doing some extra travel in that aspect.
Okay. Let me say this: if you are in the chat and you have a question, please put it in the chat. We're looking at it now. If you have a question, you want us to answer it because we're about to get off in a few minutes. But if you do have a question, please put it in the chat. Maybe I can ask these guys. This is my last question on Would You Bet That? So we all think it's going to be a close game, correct?
Yep.
All right. I think this is going to happen. Honestly, would you bet that one of the coaches, either McVay or McDermott, is going to have a lapse in judgment in coaching? And what I mean by that is, like, they're going to mess up on a timeout situation, right? Like something like that, like the old Andy Reid. You know what I mean? Andy Reid used to mess up every time in a clock situation. Do you think that? Would you bet that something like that? I don't even know if that's a bet in Vegas. It's probably a prop bet on FanDuel. FanDuel did not sponsor us. You didn't hear that, but it's probably a bet on one of those, sites or whatever.
Daily fantasy.
Daily fantasy. Yeah.
I wouldn't bet that. I wouldn't bet that. I think they both McDermott is. I think both of them good coaches.
So is Andy Reid.
I think no fan. Okay, but that's one coach you named out of a lot of coaches. So I'm saying no. I think the no fans maybe help them not make bad decisions. If that makes sense, right? It's calm. It's a calm, controlled environment. You and your coaches, you can hear. It's not like I think the no fans has an effect on that. If that makes sense, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I think the no fans have an effect of everything being calm, everything being like a practice, like a scrimmage. And so I don't think that type of mishap is gonna happen.
Well, right. An example of that would be like on a challenge where the fans sit on the jumbo and they all go crazy, and then the coaches throw out the challenge flag.
But I don't even see it.
But in reality, he caught the ball and it wasn't overturned. You lose your timeout. So that would be an example of something like that.
Do you think it's gonna happen, Mike?
For sure.
Nah, I think both of these coaches, especially McDermott, he's a surgeon when it comes to preparation. He makes sure all his I's are dotted, T's are crossed. So, and he's been a lot better. When the first episode, I talked about his timeout situation. Yeah. The first 2 years, they were terrible. But I said lately, he's been on the money. He's been listening to the numbers guys who I listen to. Yeah. And he learned how to combine his game plan with numbers and just the typical football. And he doing a good job by meshing them.
Matt, you think it's gonna be a lapse in judgment by one of the coaches?
I don't think so. I'm a piggyback on Mike. I think he's a surgeon, and McVay same way. These guys go so deep into preparation that I don't see it.
Okay. I think, man, we covered a lot. Just real quickly, Josh, he asked a question in the comments. He said, should you start John Brown? Is John Brown going to have a good game this week? Yes or no?
I'm starting John Brown.
You got to start these guys until they have a bad game. Got to start them until they have a bad game. And then there was an earlier question about Aaron Donald. I don't have it anymore. I don't know if any of you guys have it.
But just what are they going to do to try to stop
Oh, to stop him. Yeah, I mean, with that, I mean, you can try to do everything. You can't really stop him. You got to just try to briefly contain him so we can get the ball out.
Whoever asked that question.
You double teaming and you bring. That's when I think Yeldon gonna come in the game to block, to keep a running back. And running backs haven't been in our passing game a lot. And you just come in, you just have a running back there with helping Josh. I think that's the best. That's the best you can do.
Some people said what you should do is have the screen game going early. You know, get him off his toes, make him, you know what I mean, make him move, you know, left or right. But in my opinion, Aaron Donald is like a tornado. You just pray that it stops. You know, just wait till it go back. Just wait.
Mills asks, "Are we comfortable with relying on our offense versus our defense?"
Right now, they haven't given us a reason not to be. I mean, when usual, like, you know, we went down last week, you know, the offense responded right away. It's like you almost couldn't believe it. Like with that John Brown or the Gabriel Davis touchdown, we responded right away. Like there was no wasting time. We came right down, scored. Like, all right, you guys had the game for a second. We're back.
No, I'm not. Okay. I'm not because
to answer the question, no, I'm not. Oh.
No, I'm not. Simply because of Josh.
I'm not either.
Because Josh Allen. Josh Allen has the haywire gene, meaning that he can always do something really bad at any moment, and we know that. So, right?
Yeah, I'm not because honestly, Josh Allen. I want to see this game. I want to see a game against Belichick. I just want to see Josh Allen in other pressure moments to fully embrace that. I truly believe we're gonna need our defense to show up in big moments. And hopefully we get that together. Hopefully the linebackers healthy. So no, I'm not there with Josh yet. But hopefully by the end of the season, he by playing the Patriots twice and playing these other high power offense where we're gonna have to score points. You're gonna have to score points. I gotta see Josh Allen in those situations before I trust our offense. And we gotta run a little bit better too. A little bit.
Mike.
You're muted, Mike. Oh, never mind.
I'm not muted.
I thought you were muted for a second.
I'm okay with it. I mean, it's a side of the ball, right? If that side of the ball is going great, then it's going great. Then lean on it. Like I don't need to lean on the defense. We've been leaning on the defense for 17 years. We had a drought. Let's switch sides. Let's lean on the offense for a little bit. So I'm okay with it.
Okay, and we're going to predictions now. We're leaving.
Hold on, we got one more. It's a good one from one of our top fans, Josh Coaster. He said, "Will Sam finally accept Josh Allen if he throws 300 plus this week?"
I seen it, and I don't really have a problem with Josh Allen. Except the fact that last year in the playoff game, he threw the ball behind his back to nobody. So I mean, like, if he didn't do that, then we'd be fine. But
he threw a 75-yard bomb to a fullback too.
Yeah.
Again, he threw the ball behind his back and he lost the game. He literally did. But anyways, moving right along. Let's do this. Let's do this. We need predictions. Let's not all run to the casino at one time. We need predictions. We need scores. Let me know. Not so much expectations of the game because we gave him an hour show. I want to know who's going to win, and I need to know a score. Mike, what's up?
I'm going with the Bills. Okay. 35-31. Let's go, Josh. Put it up. Put it up again. 35-31. Buffalo Bills.
Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback that, man. I think you hammer the over this week. I'm gonna go with a 35-28 score though. I'm not gonna give them 31.
Right.
This is tough. This is tough for me. I'm gonna go Rams. And if I'm wrong, I'm happy I'm wrong, right? So it's not gonna be I don't care if I'm right about this or not. But I'm gonna go Rams.
Couching it already.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Bills fan, but I'm gonna say Rams 28-21.
Okay, and I got unfortunately I got the Rams 31-13. I think it's gonna be, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna be a bad game. I honestly do. I think the first half we're gonna have that look on our face. we're gonna have that look on our face like, okay, what's going on here? So I hope again, like Raz said, I hope I'm wrong. But I see 31-13. So that's neither here nor there.
If we beat the Rams, we a top two to the AFC, bro. Like if we can beat these boys, we a top team right now. Like we gonna be in the top 3 or 4
top 5 in the NFL.
And
top 5 in the NFL easily.
I agree.
Like, this is a big game.
I agree.
We beat these boys, it's a big game.
I agree. If we beat the Rams, it's an amazing game. We are top 5. But the reason why I say 31-13 because I believe personally the Rams is probably a top 2 team in the NFC. Like I really believe that wholeheartedly. I think they're one of the best teams in the NFC. I think we're gonna see them late in the NFC Championship game, maybe the Super Bowl, depending on if Dallas can get their stuff together. But I honestly, I think they're one of the best teams in football. So for me, that's what I mean. Like I think that the Bills is still a work in progress. I think towards the end of the year, we're going to be better than what we are now. I know it's hard to say because we played these two teams amazing, in the Jets and the Dolphins, but we'll see. And Matt, I love. Let me say this. How can I put this? I am respectful to my elders. So what I will say,
Mama Costa.
Yeah, what I will say is we'll see tomorrow. You know what I mean? We'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. But we thank you. I don't know who that was. But
hold on. Well, I got a drink. No. I got a drinking game for everybody.
Oh boy.
I got a drinking game for everybody. If you're looking for a drinking game tomorrow.
And drink responsibly, 21 and over,
Yes, 21 and over. If the Bills and the Rams are the two teams leading in play actions, Josh Allen has thrown 32 pass attempts or play action out of like 81 for 367 yards. So half of his yards came on play action. Jared Goff is at 31 pass attempts of play action. So these teams do play action a lot. Half of their passes pretty much come from play action. So you and somebody else, somebody get the Bills, somebody get the Rams. Every time the Bills do a play action, you take a shot. Every time the Rams do a play action, you take a shot. And let's see what happens at the end of the game. Let's see if you make it to the end of the game. Come on,
I think you're promoting somebody to get alcohol poisoning.
Matt, you want to do it? Matt, you want to do it?
No, I don't.
I take the Rams.
I wouldn't even do that. I don't even try to get that drunk at the games anymore.
No, well, Preach keep telling me, oh, Pat, play action and all this running stuff. Well, let's see. Let's see how often these teams do play action without running the ball.
I love you too, Mr. Coaster. I really do. But Dallas and
It's misses.
No. It says Dave.
It's probably either way.
Okay.
Either way.
Mr. and Mrs. I love both of y'all. But Dallas is a way better team than Jets and the Dolphins. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to get into back and forth with our fans. But I will say
family,
this.
That's family.
That is family. It's definitely not fans. It's definitely family. So let me say this. What we need y'all to do, we really need y'all to do this because we're trying to take this podcast to the next level. We need y'all to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We think it's a sports show. We think it's a sports show on all platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and if you go on any podcast audio network, Apple, Spotify, you name it, we on there. We need you to go like and subscribe. We need you to comment, rate, and review. We need it all. We need you to like and share this podcast right here. We want this to go. Last week we did some numbers. Last week we did numbers. This week we want to do more numbers. We need y'all. Yep. We need y'all fans to do it. Matt, what you got to say?
Shout out the top fans who come through and check us out every week. We got Josh. He puts together my studio here. You got JJ Ventola. He's with us every week. Tim Dixie.
Matt, those are doing shout outs. Let's shout out everybody.
I'm just doing a couple. I'm doing a couple with shout out to everybody who's here every week with us. We appreciate you guys.
Matt just did the All Lives Matter shout out. Y'all heard him? Yo, that's crazy. Nah.
We're not gonna get into that, but
I'm just playing.
I don't know where you were going with that.
I don't know either.
Matt, I blame Matt.
He shot all white people. Yeah. He shot all white people.
I blame Matt.
I shouted out Tim. Tim's white.
It's a joke. Y'all. All right. We appreciate y'all.
I'm trying to share the links to the joint.
All right.
Now.
Yeah.
It's all right, man. We about to be out. We.
I know you.
Josh.
Josh.
I hear you, Josh.
That's Josh.
All right,
I heard Josh.
we out. We thank y'all. You know what I'm saying? And
The links are in the comments. Please,
yeah, link are in the
please
comments.
subscribe.
No more watch parties, man.
No,
more watch.
yo, tell your dad don't do the watch party.
No watch parties.